Okay, I've got another question here from Jamie. So Jamie said, hi, Brett and Tony. What were some of the biggest lessons or changes you needed to make along the way from 30 to 110 franchises? So some of the biggest lessons or changes you needed to make along the way to get that growth of 80 plus 80 franchises.
Yeah, so having really good systems and processes in place. Good startup guide. So we kept refining our startup guide, which is a step-by-step startup guide, our operations manual, our on-the-road training, always evolving and improving that. And I'll be honest, I still think we can make massive changes in it. You know, we're 10 years down the track, and I'm still annoying people how we can make it better, because if every guy that comes through can give us a few tips and hints and feedback on what their experience was, we can keep tweaking it. So how did we grow it? So I guess franchisee satisfaction grew over that time. When I took over, franchisees probably felt a little bit distant from the system, whereas I want them to be part of the system. So by bringing them in and making them part of the system, I think they become more engaged, they become more profitable. We talked about training and professional development, and then they become advocates for the system. So I guess I call it the tipping point, and there's a document out there somewhere called the tipping point, so you could probably Google that. It's when you get to a point of momentum where the system starts to sell itself. So I felt we got to that point a couple of years ago. Now, could we always be having more franchise inquiries? And I'd say yes, we'd like to. If we got more franchise inquiries, we've got more caliber of people we can be choosing from to sell franchises too. But I did find that people were coming to us a lot more. They already knew a lot more about us. They'd already researched us. They'd read some good reviews. They'd watched some great videos from franchisee testimonials. And so they were coming to us. A lot of franchise inquiries come to us armed with information now. So that helped us grow over the last probably 3 to 5 years.
Okay. Fantastic. What's some advice that you've got for other business owners out there dealing with COVID-19? I mean, it's topical for all of us right now in April 2020. So what's some good advice for other business owners in dealing with it, coping with it?
I wouldn't say I've got the magic dust right now, Tony, but I'd say you just got to go back to basics. So I think if you go back to the basics of how, if you're a long way down the track in your business, go back to where you started. How did I grow this great business all those years ago? Because we do forget how hard that journey was. So go back to those basics. Speak to your customer base. There's a lot of us don't speak to our past customers. So we speak to the current customers. We're not speaking to the past customers. Now, you want to be mindful around how you communicate with past customers right now, because we don't want to be seen to be on the front foot and overselling. But are you in an industry or a business where it'd be nice to touch base with them and say, hey, we realise it's tough times, but one, we're still in business and we can help you with X, Y, and Z. Maybe even putting some special offers out there right now. So it's not about getting rich right now, but cash flow is important. So you might be putting some really great offers to re-engage past customers, offer some incentives for customers to purchase some product or try your services again. Because even us as a group, we probably haven't done the best with that over the years, managing our databases. We are doing more over the last few years, but we let our database go to sleep for a long time. And just being mindful of people's situations. So you're going to get some pretty strange reactions from marketing at the moment. So don't think that someone overreacting to something means how all your customers are feeling. And likewise, I guess, just if you are going to go out to the network with some marketing, is maybe run your ideas past some other people. So when you're in the marketing team or the marketing head office, you think you know everything. And but why not just benchmark and test some of your marketing ideas with either some other people in the office, some existing customers or friends, just to get some of the honest feedback about if it's relevant or too raw right now to be doing that.
Oh, fantastic. Great advice. Had another client of mine last week. He talked about just calling up his existing customer base and just seeing how they're coping.
Yeah.
You know, so not trying to sell anything, not trying to, just simply called up and said, hey, how you doing? You know, it's a bit like the Are You Okay Day, you know, that we have once a
Yeah.
year, but we can all adopt that right now just to see how people are traveling, because different people are dealing with things very differently. Like you said before, there was a period early on where you were just sort of gobsmacked with everything that was going on. And even though you kept getting up every day to, you know, get into it, but at the end of every day, it was tough going. So really simple things that we can do just from a customer service point of view.
Yeah, I think even what you've been doing. So my hats off to you, Tony, and thank you, because I have been watching you closely over the last sort of
Thanks,
4
Brett.
or 5 weeks. You've been doing it for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but I have appreciated having access to your little daily tidbits and positivity.
Yep. Thank you.
And that would probably be a tip to people: is you need to right now surround yourself with positive messages.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking la la land messages.
No.
I'm just saying, you know, positive in can make equal a little bit of positive out. In a world or environment where it's negativity all day, every day, you need to be having some positive energy going into this brain, to have some positive energy out. So start to be more mindful now. We're 4 or 5 weeks into this, more mindful about your own speak and what you're saying. I heard once, I think you said, what you say, your mind listens.
Be careful what you say to yourself, because your mind's listening.
That's it.
Yep.
So I've tried to be very conscious of that and not be too negative, but definitely being realistic. So we've got a few franchisees who have probably lost a couple more customers than expected, and have had some you know, concerning reactions to that. But when you talk through the data with them, because right now it is about data, so that's another thing, is run your reports and look at your data. You know, how down are you year on year? You know, look at the metrics. You might feel like it's devastating, but you run the data and go, actually, it's not too bad. That's not to say it's not going to change in a week or a month.
Sure.
So I'd get in the habit now of running regular data, where we used to say run monthly reports. Why not get more across how your businesses are going and run weekly reports?
Great advice. And also the other bit I like there is remove that emotion, right? So just focus on the facts, because it's very easy to get caught up in the hysteria right now. And like you said, you know, you put you know, negative stuff in, then it's only natural that negative stuff will come out. So put some good stuff in, but then look to where you can minimize the emotion and just focus on the data, focus on the facts, focus on what's happening. I love the fact that you guys have gone and created this new product that you hadn't, you know, I don't know if you guys had thought about that previously, or whether just necessity, you know, forced your hand to come up with this. But, you know, it's a great offering for people who would be so used to going to their local pool shop and getting their bits and pieces. And now, you know, you guys are coming to them, which is a wonderful service.
Yeah, well, we've had some guys nationally who have been offering a similar test and balance service, but not as vanilla as what we're offering now.
Yep.
So that idea and feedback come from the network over the last couple of years in our annual conference and in meeting with the franchisor team weekly. So we've gone from a monthly meeting to weekly. So we're very committed to staying in touch.
Yep, perfect.
And I'm leaving that open to the franchisor team, and we're enjoying catching up weekly. We're also treating it as a time to, I guess, just have a chat. So you know, we were saying we'll allow half hour. We've had 5 weekly meetings now, and all have gone over an hour. So we just end up having a chinwag at the end of it. It's after hours, so we meet at 5:30 or 6 o'clock at night. So most of the guys will just, you know, have a soft drink or a can of beer or red wine, whatever they and it's you know, serious business for the first part of it, and then at the end it's just a little chinwag on how we're all going. So
good. And that's a bit of that Are You Okay, right? It's a bit of how you going, how you coping, share some of the stories, and collectively, you know, look to lift each other up, which is exciting.
I've got a lot of energy out of my own family. So getting home at night, I'm still coming I can work from home, but I choose to come to work because I have 3 daughters and a wife, so it can get a little bit noisy at home. So I am still coming to work.
Yes.
And I'm getting a lot done at the moment, which is good. But going home at night and just having an unwind and a chat to the kids has been wonderful. I'm probably becoming a little bit more connected there, which has been nice.
Good.
I'm trying to listen to them a little bit more. So for many years, I feel like there's 3 kids, just lots of noise. I'll probably do switch off a little bit, to be honest. But I'm really trying to listen to them and connect to them a little bit more, and they're appreciating that. And
good on you.
Going for walks with them and swimming in the pool. Although it got quite cold on the weekend, so they had to push me in the pool.
But just doing the simple things, right? Just those. The old saying is the simple things are often the best.
We're playing board games, so we're playing board games, which is amazing. So they're off iPads and playing board games. So for them to play a board game with me, they are probably genuinely bored.
Yeah. But it's another example of all of the. There's so many positive things that are coming out of this, you know, and I get there's a lot of horrific scenes from globally, and even here in Australia, there's horrific things that are happening. But there's so much positivity, and I believe that even though we're isolating, it's bringing families, and you're a great testament, bring families closer together. And like you said, you're doing things that you never would have dreamt of doing as a family, and now, you're playing games, and everyone's talking, and they're off the technology, and it's incredibly positive.
Yeah, I'm amazed how smart these little kids are. So I've got a 13-year-old girl, 10-year-old girl, and 8-year-old girl.
Yep.
And just being a little bit more connected with them, they're interesting little people. Like they're amazing, and I ask them how they're going with it and their thoughts on what's happening and all that.
Yep.
And they're amazing shock absorbers. They're just rolling with it. They ask some really interesting questions, and they're very curious. We just found out today here in Queensland that we're going to have another 5 weeks of homeschooling. So when the last week of school holiday, so my kids will be home. This is their 4th week, and we've got told there's another 5 weeks to go of homeschooling. So, which is again, there's that businesses and government adapting. They're learning online. So the girls have been set up. They've got their little iPads and computers around the house. We're trying to work out how this is going to actually play out.
Yep.
Trying to manage that. So now Kelly, my wife's going to be staying at home, and I'll definitely be coming to work.
Yep.
She'll be helping them with their schoolwork at home for 5 weeks. So.
But we adapt, right? And so as a society, we adapt. We always have. We always will. That's just the nature of being human. I was talking to someone from my daughter's school last week, and ordinarily to set up an online learning platform would have taken them probably 12 to 18 months. They did it in like 4 weeks, And being forced through necessity, we can do this stuff. Like, we can do these things, right? And so that's one of the things that gives me enormous hope and optimism, is that we can adapt. We adapted after the GFC. We adapted, when computers came. We've just adapted right throughout society, and we'll continue to adapt. It doesn't mean that there won't be people who, are going through some tough times right now, and I accept that. But generally speaking, we adapt, which is a beautiful thing. Mate, what about I'm just conscious of time here. We've got some more people come on board. Thank you so much for those who've just come on. If you want to ask Brett anything, please put some comments in, ask a question, and we'll ask him whilst we've got him. Been really insightful so far.